except for like when they're happy and romantic. when he's fighting with Mal, like as his evil part of the subconscious that she represents, right? When he's fighting with her, when he's fighting with himself, pretty much, I think that really works. I think Marion Cotillard did a great job of being that evil person.
Well, I mean, I kind of didn't like her because I didn't enjoy her performance very much, but I'm not sure at the same time that makes me like her villainous. I didn't think of her as a great villain, and I mean, she wasn't even a villain to some degree because it's his subconscious.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Well, we've talked about that long enough.
Sure.
I think, anyway. We've spent a lot of time on that. You got a lot of more numbers on that pad of yours.
Well, the second question I want to ask you guys was, this is a rhetorical question, but how great did Joseph Gordon-Levitt look?
Oh my God, best dressed man in Hollywood. Let me swoon a little bit.
I just want his wardrobe so badly.
He is really, he's, in the last few years, really come into, this huge... He's become a movie star in a very short time. Like, he's been in lots of films, and, obviously he was in Third Rock from the Sun, but...
And one of Greg's favorite movies of all time, Brick.
Brick, yeah. I mean, he's great in Brick, but no one really,
No one really
saw that or really, paid attention to him in that. Well, I guess people who did see it paid attention to him, but...
And loved him.
Yeah, but, yeah, just the last little while here, mostly I kind of credit to 500 Days of Summer because that was a, big movie for him.
Yeah.
But, and then now this film as well, where he had, probably, I don't know, I'd say he'd had one of the most enjoyable characters to watch, at least. I don't know if it was the best character, but...
I had a lot of fun with him. Like, it was sort of a one-sided character, but he just did it so well. Just tough-on thing. And, actually talking about chemistry in Christopher Nolan movies, I thought his chemistry with Tom Hardy actually added some really much-needed humor to the movie, and was so much better than anything DiCaprio had with Cotillard in the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
That's very true. Their interactions actually steal the show, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt just plays that. He just plays smooth so well.
Yeah.
Like he can play both ends of the spectrum. He can play introspective and almost standoffish, like he does in 500 Days of Summer, and then he goes to play a movie in Inception. He's got his hair slicked back like someone straight out of Oliver Stone's Wall Street, and and he's like, I'm just the coolest looking guy in this movie, and you all know it, so just get over it, and we'll move on.
Well, I mean, he has one of the greatest scenes in the film, which is the, the floating hallway fight, which is, fantastic and just tons of fun to watch. And
can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
It reminded me kind of like seeing The Matrix for the first time, the same sort of just, otherworldly thing that's, really great. One of the things I love about blockbusters is seeing something so perfectly rendered. And not only that it fit better than...
The Matrix lobby scene.
Lobby scene. That was a great piece.
Where did those guys come from, anyway?
They're just on standby.
Right, totally. Yeah.
Kept on retainer. It's a big corporation. I don't know what they're doing.
You see, in Inception, where they explain in about 2 lines of dialogue where all of these bad guys are going to come from for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So they just get over it. They're going to be there, and they're there for the action. Enjoy.
Them up.
Now, on the sort of dream logic of having millions of people thrown at the main characters and stuff, did the movie feel dreamlike, or did it not feel dreamlike? And did the dreamlikeness work, or was the thing that worked that it wasn't dreamlike at all? Could you relate to it in yours?
See, yeah, I think that I've actually heard criticisms from quite a few people and whatnot about how since it's supposed to be all taking place in a dream, they wanted more of that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind kind of wispiness and make it feel more like a dream. But I think that would have made it more jarring for me, because I mean, for me, one of the whole big themes of the film is how to differentiate a dream from reality. And of course there's the whole thing about when you're in a dream you don't realize you're dreaming, but us as viewers would definitely realize when characters are in dreams and when they're not, if they had that dream wispiness and like dreamscape stuff happening, but by making everything grounded in reality and make everything look realistic, I thought that it made it more of a challenge to kind of grasp when we're actually watching a dream and when we're not, and I think that ties into with the whole ending of the film as well.
Christopher Nolan, I find, is just on the same track as you there, Alan. He's always been good at making the audience feel what his characters are feeling. Specifically in Memento.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Where the audience has the same feeling almost through the entire movie of, we have short-term memory loss with this guy, right? And in Insomnia, he did the same thing, where it was like, oh my God, Al Pacino, I'm so sorry you can't sleep, but I can, so I will.
Yeah, I watched it right before bed a couple days ago.
And in Inception, he makes the audience...
Another movie.
in Inception, he makes the audience feel like they're in a dream or in reality. They're not sure. He makes the audience feel unsure, right, of whether the characters are in a dream. They make the audience feel like the characters do.
The next movie will be Intercourse. Sorry.
Of the In trilogy.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like the audience needs their own little totem to spin, right, or knock over, or roll the dice, right? So, like, I think he does a really good job of making his audience feel...
No, the framework of the movie is maybe my favorite part of the movie, that it's so sophisticatedly put together, and it's really, for the complexities in the story, it's very easy to follow for all the things that they're presenting. So I guess that's the part of it that I'd call the most genius. The ideas, I think, aren't on the same level as the framework. And actually, one of my criticisms of the movie was, I didn't think... You were talking a little bit about how he made it like for the viewer to sort of respect them to some degree, give them that ambiguity, but in my mind, he didn't give enough ambiguity. Like, and I know that a lot of
Did you feel a little manipulated at the end? Because I did.
No, actually, I thought that was a pretty good just sort of representation of what was going on in the movie the whole time. And I mean, it was a bit of a wink. It was a little cute, but I liked that just fine. What I didn't like was the scenes that, I mean, it's a blockbuster, and these are just everyone's going to see this, so I think he maybe throws this in there for audience gratification. But I hate that we have Ellen Page, this new person, come in, and we sort of follow her as the newbie, so we get all the rules explained to us. And those are the worst moments in the movie, where they're sitting there like, no, but you see, within the third and fourth levels of dreaming, if you die, you actually go to some weird abyss, and blah, blah, blah. And, like, they don't trust us to actually sort of figure these things out on
To
our
keep
own.
the movie going, she had to be there. To keep the movie at the pace that it needed to be.
The explanation is what I have the problem with. And
Yes,
they brought her in,
expository dialogue is almost always painful to watch.
and that was like half of her main. That was her main function for the first half of the movie.
It was, but she's the fish out of water character.
Yeah, that's for us to lead us along as preschoolers to some degree.
Yeah, she is. She is. She's exactly the same as Luke Skywalker, only not where everything gets explained.
Sure, but his gets explained through action.
Through action, yes, and but
I think he did it well. I just would have liked a little more ambiguity.
No, you're
I see what I totally see what you're saying, and I agree for the most part. But I do think that the whole world that he's created with these dreams, it's so to me anyway, it's very different than anything else that anyone's ever done with dreaming and things like that, and so it's very complex. And I think if it would have been really cool to see it done without any of that exposition, but it also, I don't know if it would have been as, you wouldn't have been able to follow it as well. And
yeah,